Uh, Hello. Okay, so fine. Let's just wait for 2 more minutes. Let the other participants to join, and then we'll start the session. Okay, guys. So let's start with the session. Now, guys, before proceeding with the like today's topic and the requirement, first, guys, as I think we have discussed like yesterday earlier, tell me, guys, that if you try something and if you think like, okay, what are all the chart? Okay, even if you just look around the data set, if you just look around the problem statement. So yeah, guys, anyone who has tried to create some, let's say, kind of a blueprint, okay, what are all the analysis we can do, what are the charts we can prepare, or what are the questions which we can try to answer from this particular data set. Yeah, guys, anyone? Yeah, guys, Divya, Kokila, Lakshmi, Rohit, Pragati.
You may have not tried yet na yesterday's topic which you have taught, so maybe I will try today.
Okay. Okay, guys. So then let's start with the preparation over here. So I think, guys, yesterday we have just created some default, let's say the DEX values over here, or I can say the basic KPIs. Okay, and definitely we just try to take some random like a KPIs over here. It is possible that like some of them is definitely required, but yeah, some of them like may not like if be required also. So now guys, going forward, let's see that what are all the things we can do. So guys, now I think I just try to make you understand that what are the steps, what are the all these steps which we need to take in order to like create any effective real world like let's say the dashboard or the report based on the biggest business requirement. So whenever guys we get any data set into that data set guys, our very first job is to understand the requirement, understand the business context, the problem statement. Then the second thing, guys, is we first need to check the data. We need to first do the transformation, like whatever the cleaning steps are required, whatever the let's say if any transformation is required. So if any fix required from our side. So all those things we need to do on the second stage. And then moving forward, guys, comes to the next stage, which we have developed in the last week. That is creating let's say the new columns or the new measures, which we think that probably require to let's say complete our report. Okay. Now, guys, in order to let's say create that those KPIs, or in order to let's say create the column, so we again need to come on to this table view, and we first need to understand that okay, we have let's say the sufficient amount of information over here, like 20 columns are already there. But apart from these 20 columns, let's see that what maybe let's say two or three extra columns, or maybe two or three other columns which we required over here right now. Okay, let's say once we understand the problem statement, that okay, this is again guys for to understand the loan default, the nature of the defaulter actually. Okay, so we have the sufficient number of rows over here, like we have a data of around 38,000 customers. Now based on this data of 38.5 thousand customer, we need to think that we need to analyze the behavior of let's say the defaulters, mainly the defaulters. Means we need to analyze the behavior of these customer who are actually charged off, just to understand guys that just to avoid guys any a chance of like a risk in a future. Okay, so in future if any new customer comes into the picture, and if that customer asking for a loan, now based on let's say the inputs, we can actually we need to decide that whether we can give like a loan to this particular customer or not. Okay, so whether it's a risk-free candidate, or whether it comes with some amount of a risk. Okay, because guys, definitely this problem statement again coming from the real world scenario, where there are two kind of a risk involved in this particular problem statement, guys. So the first one is that if I'm not giving like a loan to a person who probably going to fully pay the amount along with the EMIs and everything, then definitely guys, interest is one of the main business which the banking sector or these financial institutes are doing. And definitely guys, not giving a loan to a person who will definitely repay the amount is going to be a big loss for the organization. And similarly guys, if the company if company give a loan to such a candidate who will not going to repay the amount in future, then again it will be a loss for the company. Okay, so in both the ways guys, there will be loss for organization, and that is what guys we need to stop over here. That is what what we need to think of the suggestions which we can give to the organization, so that they can take a better decision in the future, and definitely a risk-free decision, or I can say that definitely decision which actually give profit to the organization, definitely not the loss. Okay, so if I look up around, there is the total number of rows over here. So right now we have 38,000 in total. But if I just want to check guys, let's say the charge of customer, see that like we have around 5,333 customers, guys. Okay, so out of total, guys, 38,000 customers, so 38 point actually 5,000 customer, we have around 5,000 customer who actually done the default. Okay, so we have a data there are, you can say that 5,000 defaulters we have. Now that's a real challenge, guys, for a data analyst in a real world scenario, that your data is actually imbalanced. Okay, so you can see, guys, that over here we got actually imbalanced data. So there are three categories. There's a one category where we have a customer who fully paid the amount. Then there's another category who are like current customer of the organization. And then there's another category where we have the like a defaulters. And you can see, guys, that if I try to take this value in terms of percentage, so it is maybe around just 13 or 14% of the entire data set. Okay, so definitely, guys, it is a bit challenging to analyze the particular nature or the particular behavior of these defaulters, because we have quite less amount of data for a particular category. Because, guys, if I show you the let's say the other category, if I try to show you the other category, let's say the fully paid, and if I click on OK on it, you can see, guys, that we have around 32,000 like customers who fully paid the amount. Okay, so definitely, guys, the major chunk of this data set is actually belonging to that category, or that category of customer who fully paid the loan amount. Okay, and definitely there's a very small chunk of this entire data set is contain the data of those customer who do the default or who didn't pay the complete amount. Okay, so definitely, guys, it is going to be a bit challenging for us as a data analyst to uh, get the nature or get the properties of let's say the defaulter with that small chunk of data. Because definitely, guys, the overall data set is quite large. Okay, and definitely, guys, if 32,000 rows belonging to one category and 5,000 rows belonging to another category, it means that in this data, guys, we probably just have around 800 or 900 current customers data. Okay, so even if I just want to check that as well, you'll see, guys, that yeah, just 1,000. Okay, so I think this is what we can even ignore. Okay, and we need to focus, guys, more on the fully paid and the charge of customer. Okay, now going forward, guys, let's start from the very beginning. Let's start from the very first thing which I can think of over here. So we have, guys, so many columns over here, and even we just remove few columns which I think that probably not required, like the country code and the employment title. Okay, so I think relatively there are two more columns which we have dropped. I don't know right now. You can probably check it. Okay. Now, guys, in this data set, we still require a few more columns, or maybe we can try to create again the kind of a category. So, like guys, earlier with the similar kind of a data set, I have given you the boundary condition. Now, a similar kind of a boundary condition can be created over here. We can take it like a low, high, or maybe high risk, medium risk. So that kind of a columns can be created based on whatever the columns or whatever the initial data points we have right now. Okay, so we can actually try to guys utilize these numerical data like the annual income, DTI, of the loan amount, and try to make some category. Okay, so because, guys, definitely these are going to be so many unique numbers over here. So analyzing let's say 10,000 unique numbers by using column chart or maybe some simple chart is not possible. So in that case, we can try to break it into, let's say, four or five parts, and we can try to, or maybe two or three parts, and we can try to make the category over here. Now for that, guys, we can click on this new column, and we can start creating our like few new columns which probably require to make a better analysis, or which is required to make, let's say, a deeper analysis. Now I can try to increase the size over here, guys, so that it is clearly visible. Now, guys, I can first try to create something called as an income band over here, just to understand the category of like a customers we have. So if you look at the annual income, guys, over here, so you probably observe that we have like the customers over here, like the minimum income is probably 4,000, and then we have like a customer guys with the income of let's say even 28,000. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 28,000. Okay, going forward, if I just scroll down, so even we have a customer guys with the value of like into the lakhs. Okay, so definitely guys, we have the different kind of a customers over here. You can see that this is actually 1 lakh. Okay. So it means guys that we have a different varieties of customer over here. Now definitely guys, this variety is something which we can try to categorize into maybe 2 or 3 groups. Okay. So what I will do guys over here, I will try to break it into, let's say, 3 groups. So for that, I can try to again create this condition. So if the annual income, now guys, what is the name of my data set? So I changed this name to loan. So if the annual income guys, this value is, let's say, less than 40,000, I can simply call it as, let's say, low income. Okay, low income category. That this is what the name can be given. Uh, Now, the second guys, we can try to add, let's say, else if. I think, uh, okay, 1 second, let me check. I guess unexpected expression. Then I think if there are more feature, 1 second, because I guess that if probably not is met returns one value. So I think if is bit uh, not the correct choice over here. I guess we can go ahead with the switch, I guess. Uh, okay, now inside this, I can try to write our my expression that if the annual income is less than 40,000, then we can take it as low income category. Yeah. Now the second one is going to be the annual income again. If it is less than 80,000, I will take it as mid income category. And if it is not belonging to any of this like category, then I will simply take it as high income category. So high income. I think that we don't require else over here. It is already written. Yeah, so if it is less than 40,000, then it will be a low income category. If it is less than 80,000, then it is a mid income category. And if there's more than that, then it will be high income category. Let's see, press enter. Let's see the output. Uh, yeah, so we are getting guys this low income category. So you can see that the first value it is less than 40,000. So definitely it's a low income category. Similarly, anywhere if I can see that, yeah, it is I think 1,10,000. So it comes into the high income category, and the other, I guess between 40,000 to 80,000, all these comes into a mid income category. Okay. So fine, we got like 3 different categories over here into the income band. Yeah. So guys, I hope that it's quite easier these things to understand. Okay, I don't think that this is making more problem for you to understand, and even the reason behind it that why we are doing it. Okay, so that instead of let's say anywhere if I can use a column chart, or if I use let's say the pie chart to understand the percentage distribution of different category of customers. So we can easily use this low income, mid income, like we can use this income band column instead of the annual income column over there. Okay. So yeah, guys, is it just acknowledge me once you have completed this like a formula, created this column. Then we'll go ahead with the next one. And guys, you can anytime interrupt me if there is any confusion or doubt with what and why. You can definitely interrupt me and ask. Okay, just acknowledge me, guys, in a chat box with just write yes or done. Then I will proceed. Yeah, guys, done, guys. Okay, now let's create a new column over here. Now into that new column, I will try to create that category of high risk or let's say low risk kind of a category. Now for that, guys, I think we just used this column in our previous the assessment task which I've given to you. And moreover, guys, the assessment for the assessment task, the report which I've created, I have actually already uploaded into that assessment task folder itself. You can try to check it over there. Now, I think as yesterday itself we discussed about it that this one very important factor which actually help us to understand that whether it's a whether it's a high risk thing or whether it's a low risk thing, and that is that is something called as a loan to EMI or similarly, guys, over here we have one column as DTI. Okay, so that DTI band is again help you to understand the risky one and let's say the medium risk or low risk. Again, guys, because it is again the same thing that is debt to EMI. Okay. Now again, guys, you can debt to income. Okay, so again you can consider it as EMI to income. Okay, so what percentage of your income is actually going into the EMI? And definitely, guys, if it is less than 0.1, you can say that it's less risky. If it is less than 0.2, you can say that it's medium risky. If it is greater than 0.2 or 0.3, again, it is going to be a high risk. Okay, so definitely, guys, if more than 30% of your income is going only into the EMIs, then it is bit risky thing for you. Okay, now that is what, guys, we can try to create next. I can name it as GTI band. So over here, guys, I can try to create that new column as GTI underscore band. Now again, guys, since again there are three conditions, so again we can start with switch. We can just try to put the expression over here, which is again true. And now inside this, guys, we can try to take all the three values. So we'll first check that if oh sorry, so we'll check the first condition. If the GTI value is, let's say, less than 0.1, then we'll call it as low risk. Similarly, we can check another value over here. So if loan of GTI, if it is less than 0.2, then we call it as medium risk. And finally, guys, if definitely if the value is greater than 0.2, then we call it as high risk. Now again, I can close a bracket and that's fine. Okay, so we can even check the values over here, guys. So I think most of the values over here is between this like a range. So I think this works fine for this particular data. Okay, so you can see, guys, that I already run it and you can see that we are getting this medium risk, high risk kind of a thing. Somewhere definitely there's a low risk because the value is actually less than 0.1. Okay. So yeah, guys, this is what we can create for analyzing, let's say, something related with the risk status. Okay, so the low, medium, and high. Okay, So yeah, guys, create it and again, just acknowledge me once you have created it. Yeah. Okay. Now, guys, going forward, again, we can create one more column over here, and that is again going to be one more like category we want to create, or we one. I can say, guys, these are nothing but the groups we are creating. So again, one more group we are going to create, and that is going to be the based on the loan amount which you are asking for. Now, in that case, guys, we can talk about the loan amount band, just like we have created the income band. Okay. Now over here, guys, again, we can use the same formula, that is switch. We can make it true, comma, and we can start writing it. So again, guys, if the loan amount, okay, so where is that loan amount? I think the column name is loan amount itself. Yeah. So if the loan amount value, if it is less than, let's say, 5,000, we call it as a small amount. Now, if this is, let's say, we again check for the loan amount. If it is less than, let's say, 15,000, we call it as uh, mid category. And if otherwise, I can simply take it as the large. So small, mid, and large, I guess this is fine. Now, again, if I run it, we'll get one new column over here. And you can again, guys, try to like compare over here. So if I talk about loan amount band, guys, so you're getting mid, large, definitely okay, so somewhere if it is less than 5,000, then it will be small. Otherwise, it is actually mid or like mostly mid and large. Okay, so yeah, you can see the small value also. Okay, so fine, guys. We created like three different groups, and definitely, guys, let me tell you very honestly that all these three different groups will actually play a very pivotal and very important role further in our like a report page. Okay, because I'm definitely, guys, even over here I'm even trying to even try to like create let's say different section, guys. I'm going to create over here like the section for good loan. So good loan means I'll try to check like the data of all the customer who fully paid the amount, and then there's a category of bad loan where I can see try to see the data of the customer who didn't like fully paid the amount. Okay, so that is also one thing we are actually going to create it over here. Okay, so percentage of like bad loans over total loans. So all these things, guys, we are going to like examine. We are going to actually check. Okay. Now, guys, I think that's it related to the columns. Okay, so these are all the columns we actually require over here. Okay, we can also try to create, guys, one separate table over here. So this loan like data, guys, over here, this is what we call the table. So this table is something which we have imported directly from let's say our like a system. Okay, similar in a similar way, guys, there's something I can say that. Right now, guys, in this like a report, we just have one table, which is like a loan table. In a similar way, guys, it is possible that we can also create. Okay, so definitely, guys, let's say if there's a actual workbook, and inside that actual Excel workbook, there's a possibility that we have multiple sheets over there. Okay, and definitely, guys, every sheet will actually work as like a table. Will actually will be nothing but I can actually call at a call as a new table. Now, similarly, guys, over here, similarly, guys, over here, if I want, I can create a completely new table over here to examine or to understand, let's say, the column related to the dates or column coming from the calendars. Okay, like over here, guys, you can see that there are four date related column. Okay, so the first date related column is the issue date, means the date on which your loan is actually issued. Then the last credit pull date. Okay, then we have the last payment date, and finally, guys, we have the next payment date. Okay, so there are four different columns, guys, which is actually in the form of the date, like a data. And definitely, guys, this column can play a very important role. Okay, so let's say if the last payment date is maybe you have not made any payment from the last 2 3 4 months, then it can play a very important role, guys, to understand that you probably like very near to become a defaulter or something. Okay, and even, guys, if there's a very big gap between the last payment date and the next payment date, again, guys, that can be like a risky thing. Okay, so all these things, guys, can be like checked with the date column. So that is going to be a completely separate like a report, guys, based on this. So that is what we'll try to understand and analyze later on. Now over here, guys, before going ahead, we first try to fix our KPIs. Okay, so right now, yesterday, just at a completion of the class, we just try to think of like one or like few KPIs over here. But definitely, guys, more important KPIs can be created, and it is important, guys, that we should create the KPI in a sequence. Okay, like now, guys, let's say since we discuss like more about the data set, since we know more about that, okay, what kind of requirement we have and all. Now I can try to, guys, try to create a KPI in a sequence over here, which actually play a important role and which actually makes like more sense over here. Okay, so let me first try to take the cards, and I will try to just drag it down, make it a bit smaller. And over here, guys, what I will do, I will just try to check that how many KPIs can be created. So definitely, guys, over here there can be three or four or five KPIs can easily be created over here. And it is completely fine, guys, that if you try to make more of the KPIs on the very first page. So even if your first page create have like 10 KPIs also, it is completely fine. You can try to arrange it, let's say, on the left side, on the right side, just to make it more relevant. And in the middle, you can try to put some like a chart just to make the report page bit more like easier to understand. Okay, because definitely, guys, the first page should create your like a summary of your entire like a data. So so this particular report, guys, will not we cannot just wrap up this report in just 4 or 5 KPIs. Let me tell you very honestly, this particular report it will at least require like 7 or 8 KPIs. Okay, so let me first try to just create the like a cards over here, more and more cards, which we think that can be added over here. So one, two, three, one more like a four, and let me first try to reduce the size a bit so that I can adjust at least five in the in a single line. Same over here. Again, now this can also be added over here. So I think yeah, this is fine. Five at one place. Now let me and guys, again, as I told you that we first we try to create it in a sequence. So I will start from the very first one, that the total number of loan applications which this particular organization has received so far. Now, guys, I think for that we must have some ID column somewhere. Yeah. So what I just want to take the count of this ID column. So if I just try to drag and drop this ID column over here, and instead of sum, if I take the count over here, so we'll get the total number of the applications which the organization has like received so far, and it is 38.5 thousand. Okay, so that is something which we already checked. Now into the second one, guys, I can take the total funded amount, means the total loan amount which the organization has dispersed so far. So there's a column called loan amount. I can drag and drop it over here. Now this is where, guys, I want the sum of the loan amount. So it is coming out to be 436 million. This is the total like a loan amount which the company has disbursed so far. Then we have the another column over here, or another KPI over here, which is total amount received. Just to now with this both the KPIs, if I put both the KPIs at a single place, so even we can actually able to understand that whether the company is in profit or into the loss. Now if I drag and drop the total payment, so you can see that the total amount which the company received so far, it is 473 million, which is greater than 436 million, which it means that it is quite good. It can be even more, guys, if let's say the company doesn't have those 5,000 defaulters. Then we can even talk about the average interest rate. So the interest rate on an average, what maybe the interest rate this organization is trying to apply on taking a loan. So that is what we are having over here. And according to like our data, guys, let's say based like the customer's data, what is the average DTI? Okay, so that is also one thing we can try to add it over here, make it the average. So that is 0.13. That is good. It means that whatever the loan amount has been given to a customer, it is actually 0.1%, or let's say the 10% of their income. Okay, so it is fine. 13% you can say. So it is fine. It's not like very high. Now, guys, these are the five main KPIs which we have like added over here. And definitely, guys, these KPIs making a lot of sense. But definitely, guys, for creating these KPIs, we have not, let's say, done any extra calculations or something, because these KPIs are like you can say that we actually have these KPIs taken KPI directly from the data set. Okay. Now, definitely, guys, we can do the bit of adjustment, like changing of color, removing of the value from the bottom, adding the title. Okay, because they are definitely, guys, this should be written as total amount funded. Okay, so this is how these can be shown. So let me just do it for one, so that I can simply copy that formatting for others. So let me just quickly do it for like one. I can go into the call out. I think that we don't require the label over here. I can go into the general. I can on the title, and the title over here should be total loan applications. Okay, so let's write it as total loan applications. We can just try to make it bold, bring it into the middle, and again, guys, so this can be shown with the blue color, or maybe a bit more darker. This is fine. Uh, we can do one more thing over here. I think what we have done like many time earlier, that is the background we can take. Okay, not the background, actually, the visual border we can take, make it on shadow. Now this can also be the rounded corner, and into the shadow, guys, since I've taken that blue color, so the same effect I can try to add it over here. Fine. And since it's a advanced KPI card, so one more thing which can be done over here is I think we discuss about it, that is ascent bar. I just forget. Okay, yeah. This is what I can try to make it on. Of again blue color, increase it, increase the size. Yeah, this is perfect. Shadow, I don't think that we require it over here, and that's fine. Okay. Now, again, guys, I just want to copy the same formatting, so I can go onto the format painter, apply it over here. I want to do the same formatting for the next, apply it over here, do the same formatting for the next, apply it over here, and similarly, guys, for the last one. Now, definitely, guys, the size is a bit different. Okay, so that is what we can try to fix it. But the most important thing, guys, is their titles which need to be updated. Okay, so we'll go in each and every card, and I just try to change the title. Rest of the things are completely fine. So I can simply write it as total funded amount. Okay, now this makes a lot of sense, guys, about my KPI. Then again, total amount received. Okay, now this actually gives guys a lot of information to the client. Average, let's say the interest rate. Okay, and similarly, guys, we have one last. That's the uh, so this will be average DTI. Now that's fine, guys. So definitely, the size I think is I think the for the first card the size is smaller in comparison to other. So I can just try to take every other card bit right side, and the size for the first one can also be increased. Okay. Fine, guys. It depends on the requirement. If you want more, then the size can be reduced. Okay. Now these are the basic KPIs, guys, which for which we don't need to create. We didn't create any. Let's say the other calculation or maybe the custom calculation. Okay. Now, guys, going forward, the next thing is very important that if I want to add some KPI or if I want to add some like a number or anything based on let's say the calculation. Now I told you guys that this is the overall like scenario we have. Okay, like the total number of applications, then the total funded amount, the total amount received. Now this is the overall like scenario, guys, of this data set. This is the overall picture of this data set. But now, guys, if I want to calculate the good loan percentage and the bad loan percentage. Now, what is the good loan percentage means, guys? So the good loan percentage, or if I talk about the good loan applications, means I'm just talking about, guys, the loan status where the answer is or where the category is fully paid. And then I want to see the second category where the customer are actually charged off, means where they have not fully paid the amount. Okay, now let's say, guys, if I want that differentiation, if I want to understand that differentiation, now for that, guys, what we can do, we can try to create that like a kind of a DAX over here, or we can try to create let's say the kind of the formula over here where I can calculate the total good loan applications, total bad loan applications, and then we can try to calculate it in terms of, let's say, the percentage. Okay, now that will give you guys like more KPIs over here. Okay, now for that, guys, let's see that what we can do. I will now go into a new measure. Okay, so you can see that in the calculation uh, pane we have this new measure option over here. I can go inside this new measure and I can try to calculate that total good loan applications and similarly bad loan applications. Okay. Now, guys, before like proceeding with that new measure, please let me know that everyone of you has done so far. Okay, is it? I think the decks, the KPIs which I have created, I think this is completed for everyone. Yeah. Yeah, guys. Okay, so now let me start creating the important measures over here. So I can start with let's say good loan applications. Now over here, guys, I can actually take I can use the function. So now guys, since in a good loan application or let's say for a bad loan applications, we need to use a very important function over here, guys. If you remember, yesterday also I've given you that the chat cheat sheet of like a DEX. So definitely, guys, this good loan or the bad loan application, if I talk about like any of this, so it is actually, guys, in that good loan or bad loan application, guys. We actually use a function called calculate. So calculate is something, guys, we use to filter out maybe we can say that relevant information. Okay. So what we will do, we'll use the function called calculate. Okay. And I want to filter out only the data of fully paid customers. So what we will do, we'll first try to check, let's say the total loan applications. Okay. Now, guys, we first give that expression of the total loan application means how much total applications we have. Now, for that, guys, we can first use the function called count, and we can apply it onto the ID. Okay, because we didn't create a different column for this count. Okay, sorry for to calculate the total number of applications we have. Okay, so now guys, what you want, I want to filter out from that total number means from 38.5 thousand. I want to filter out, or I want to get that number of the total number where the amount is fully paid. Okay. Now over here, guys, what we will do, we'll take this, let's say the column loan over here, and we see the loan status over here. Let's say the loan status. Now, guys, if we already observe that there are three status. Okay, although guys, like let's say for good loan or the bad loan, we just require two status. So for good loan, we just require, guys, the I just need to take a data of let's say the fully paid. Okay. So, but guys, there are three categories. Okay, so one category will remain untouched. Okay, and then it creates a problem later on. So, what we'll do, we'll try to take both fully paid and current into the good loan application category. Okay, so I will use the function called in, and I will take both. Which the first one is fully paid, which is definitely, guys, a good loan. I can say, comma current. Okay, so both I can take inside the like a good loan category, and I can close the bracket. Okay, now guys, this will actually create a total number of good loan applications. Okay, so you can see, guys, that what we have done, we use this calculate function. Now we know that the calculate function is actually used to filter out the relevant information. Now out of that total data, out of that total 38.5 thousand values, we want to calculate that how many values or how many such values we have where the customer has fully paid the amount. Okay, so that is what we have done over here, and that data we have taken inside a good loan applications. Now similarly, guys, we have to calculate the same by using a same function. We need to calculate the numbers for the, let's say, the bad loan applications. Okay, so yeah, guys, is it done, the good loan applications? Yeah. Just acknowledge me, guys, once this is done. Okay. Now let me just press enter, and that new column is created as a good loan application. Now, guys, you can even try to create by yourself. That's the second one, which is a bad loan application. Now for that, I will just click on that new measure, and over here I will create, let's say, the bad loan applications. Now, guys, again, we can use the same formula, that is like calculate. Then we can use the count over here to take the count of the total number of rows into our data set. And then I want to, let's say, take that loan status, and this time, guys, the loan status should be charged off. So now this time, guys, definitely we just have one category, so I will simply write equals to charged off. And make sure, guys, that this is again case sensitive, so it is important that let's say you have to make sure, guys, that the C of a charged is capital, and similarly O of off is capital. Okay. And let's say in any other case, scenario, guys, if it is given in a small case, so you have to use in a similar way. Okay. Now I can again press enter, and again that new column will be created as bad loan applications. Okay. So we got two new measures over here. One is good loan applications, another one is bad loan applications. Okay. Now, guys, going forward, we need to calculate the next thing, that is which we can even try to put it in our KPI, that is the good loan percentage and the bad loan percentage. Okay. So for that, guys, let's see that what we can do over here. So we got, guys, two numbers over here. One is good loan application, bad loan application. Now this number, guys, is something we already know. Even if I just use a filter, I have shown you that how many total customers are there who default, and that the number of customers who didn't default. Okay. So rather than that number, guys, we are more interested in percentage. So let's see that how we can calculate it. Now, guys, before writing this formula, I first want to hear from you that what you think, okay, how we can calculate the good loan percentage. Just tell me the calculation for it. Okay, I don't want you that to take the name of a function, but just tell me the calculation. What should be the calculation for good loan percentage? Yeah, guys. What is the formula, guys, for calculating the good loan percentage? Yeah, guys. Very simple, guys. Okay, so you just need to tell me that basic formula. Okay, so it's simple, guys. Let's say in any examination out of 100 marks, if I score like 80, so and if I want to calculate that percentage, my score percentage, so yeah, I think it's easy to calculate it. How I can calculate that percentage, that let's say out of 500 I got like 440. So how I can tell that what is my accuracy score or what is my percentage in an examination. So that is what you have to do over here also. Yeah, guys.
It will be a loan amount divided by total amount into 100. That is the basic formula we use.
Loan amount divided by the total amount.
The loan amount divided by the total amount into 100. The kind of
Very
percentage.
lower amount.
Loan amount, whatever is the loan amount divided by the total amount into 100.
No, no, I'm asking for good loan percentage. Means I'm asking for that. Okay, let's say that out of 38,000, out of 38,000 customers, okay, we know that there are 32,000 or 33,000 customers who fully paid the amount, and the remaining 5,000 didn't fully paid the amount. So I just want to get that in terms of percentage. Okay, so right now, since we have created this good loan applications, bad loan application, right now we are getting the numbers. I want it in a percentage that out of that total data, out of that total 100%, what percentage of customers are actually good customers, and what percentage are actually the bad customers. So I want to get that percentage. Okay, so that good customer percentage and the default customer percentage. Yes, it's too easy, yaar. Okay, you just need to divide your let's say uh the good loan application. So right now you have created this good loan application. Okay, so let me even show you that if I just try to understand. Okay, so let's say, okay, if I just want to show you guys that if I just try to create a card, and if I just try to show you that number over here, so the total number of good loan applications, okay, so it is coming out to be a sum. Okay, so you can see the guys that, yeah, this is 33,000 in total. Okay, so 33,000 is total number of it means that there are total 33,000 like a customer who fully paid the amount. Okay, because in this case, guys, we have also considered the like a current customers. Okay, so you already observe, guys, that when I try to show you by using that filter, I've already shown you guys that like into the loan status, that how many customers are actually fully paid, how many customers are actually charged off. So if you just take this current and fully paid, you can see, guys, that that number into the bottom, it is 33,243. That is same thing, guys, we are getting it over there. Okay, so just we are just trying to take the same number because every time we cannot go and try to do the filter. So that same number I have actually put in some calculation. Okay. Now I just want to calculate in terms of percentage. Now let's say if there are total 33,000 good customers we have, and the total number of customer which is there is 38,000. So how we can calculate in terms of percentage? It will be nothing but 33,000 divided by 38,000. That's all. And that gives you, and then multiply by 100. That gives you the total number of percentage of fully paid customer. Similarly, if I now for the bad loan percentage, it will be 5,000, which is the total number of bad loan applications, or the total number of charge off customer, divided by the total number of customer. It will give you the percentage of bad loan applications. Okay, so that's what, guys, we have to do over here. We have to simply divide let's say the good loan applications. So that is what we have already created over here. Let's say the column which we have good loan applications, and this should be divided with, so my denominator will be nothing but let's say the total number of applications, so total applications. So again, guys, we don't I didn't create that total application. Okay, again, guys, so that should also be created, but fine, since it is not created, so what I can do, I can take the count of let's say the total number of applications which we have, and that will simply gives you guys the output over here. So if I just run it, so we'll get the total number of so in terms of 33,000, guys, will come in a, okay, yeah,
काय कळेना
someone,
ना जरा पण असं उन्हामुळे असं गप सरबत पिऊन काहीतरी असं ताक
uh,
आहे काय
okay, so we got, guys, this good loan percentage over here. Okay, now if I want to see, guys, that like in terms of, so right now we are getting in terms of number. If I want to get it in terms of percentage,
Then
so
it should be into 100,
I can
right?
simply drag, no, that I will tell you. So I can simply try to drag this good loan percentage in this value, and you can see that it is 86%. Now, if I want to show this number in form of percentage, because right now it is coming as 0.86. So for that, guys, it is very simple. When you click on this formula, or when you click on this like a measure, you can see, guys, that you are like having this formatting option. So you can directly click on this percentage, okay, and it automatically converts into the percentage. Okay, if you want to have the value after the decimal place, it is fine. If you don't want to have a value after the decimal place, so you can simply make it like a 0. Okay, so if I just make it till 1, so I'm getting 86.2% as the total like a good loan percentage. Okay, it means, guys, that there are around 13.8% bad loan data we have. Okay, so again, guys, for calculating that, we can again use say the same divide function. Each and everything will be same. Just in the first square bracket, instead of good loan applications, you have to pass bad loan applications. Okay. I hope, guys, this is like clear to everyone.
Shivam, here, good loan application is fine. The count you have done for the total loan applications, right?
Correct.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Then it's clear. Yeah.
Okay, guys. So I think in a similar way, you can create bad loan percentage, and then we can create one KPI called as a default rate. Okay. So yeah, guys, just try to create the bad loan percentage by yourself. Meanwhile, I will take like a short break for 4 to 5 minutes, and then we'll continue like from there. Okay. Okay, guys, is it done? Okay, so I think now you have also calculated for the bad loan percentage. Now for bad loan percentage, guys, again, there's the same formula. Just we have to replace that the value inside a square bracket from good loan applications to bad loan applications. Okay, so we simply write it over here as now bad loan. Let's say the percentage. Now this will be again, guys, use the same formula over here. That's divide. Now first we'll pass the numerator. My numerator will be nothing but let's say the total bad loan applications, and this should be divided by, let's say, we'll take a count over here and we'll take a count of ID. Close the bracket and we'll close the bracket again and we'll get the bad loan percentage. Okay. So if I talk about, guys, into our data set, what is the like a bad loan percentage we have. So that is quite easier, guys, to understand. So if I just try to drag and drop this bad loan percentage, we can see, guys, that it actually contains 13.8% of the total data. Okay. So that's what, guys, we even discussed earlier that definitely, guys, the bad loan percentages are actually low, and that's a real challenge, guys, in this kind of like a problem statement, because we got a bit of imbalanced data. Okay, so definitely, guys, let's say even if I'm making this similar kind of a system for a fraud transaction, or let's say for the fraud detection. So even, guys, over there we are able to find out a similar kind of a challenge, because again, guys, we cannot expect to have let's say this like so many fraud transactions. Okay, so it's definitely very difficult to get that let's say to understand that behavior very easily. Okay, because the amount of data for a particular category or the amount of data for a particular condition is quite less, okay, in comparison to definitely the other category. Okay, now we got both the percentage, guys, over here, but definitely I don't want to show both the percentage over here. Now from this two thing, guys, which we have calculated, one is bad loan percentage, another one is good loan percentage. I want to create a different measure over here so that I can show in the very first definitely, guys, the KPI, I always told you that it is going to be the initial information or the very first hand information which we are sharing with our client. So over here, guys, we cannot simply go ahead with that good loan percentage or the bad loan percentage. So the better measurement, guys, for that, which I can use over here, is something we can call as a default rate. Okay, so I can use something called as a default rate over here. So I can write, let's say, the default rate. Now, for guys getting the default rate, we can use this divide function again over here. Now, I can simply try to divide the total bad loan applications, okay, to let's say the total loan application. Okay, so the same which we have taken right now, we can just try to use that same formula over here. We can just try to make sure of 0 and now close it. Now this is nothing but, guys, to default rate. Now guys, so we got to know that in our data set what is the default rate. Okay, so the client in the very first hand, they can actually understand that like what percentage of customer has already done like a default with them. Okay, so fine, guys, now this is what I can try to add into my KPI. So I can just try to create a copy of this. I can just try to drag one new card over here, and inside this card I can try to add the default rate. Now this default rate, guys, is definitely something which we have created by our own. Definitely this is not like present in our initial, like with our initial information. Okay, so I can write it as default rate. And if I want, I can try to convert this number in a percentage. So for that, I can click on the percentage value, sorry, the percentage symbol, and then I can even try to reduce the value after the decimal place. Okay. So the total default rate, guys, for this data set is coming out to be 13.8%. Okay, which means that there are 13.8% customer like they are into the data set or into this whole like a data who actually make a default. Okay, means who didn't repay the total amount. Okay, so maybe after 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. Okay, so whatever the duration, they actually uh, stop giving the EMI and then they done the default. They didn't repay even the actual like a loan amount which they have taken. Okay, is that clear, guys, to everyone? Yeah. Anyone, guys, having any difficulty or problem to get any to understand anything till this part? Okay, great. Now, guys, going forward, we can try to get more information about this default rate. So there are 13.8% default rate, guys. Let's assume that there are 14 percent is our default rate. Now, within that default rate, guys, I can see that how much total amount which is actually get defaulted. Okay, that is one of the major information which the client wants to understand. Okay, so definitely fine. There are 14% is the total default rate. And now, guys, we also have the total funded amount, the total amount received. But I want to know that what is that total amount which is actually defaulted, okay, which the customer never pay or which the customer didn't pay at all. Now that is one major information, guys, which again my client wants to understand. Now, guys, yeah, tell me, what do you think? Which formula or which function we can try to use over here to understand the total amount of which is actually defaulted by these 14% customers. Okay, so I hope, guys, you understand the objective. So my objective is to find out that total amount which is actually defaulted by these 14% customers. Yeah, guys, what do you think? Which formula we can actually use? What should be the function over here, over there, which we can use to check that like a number? Yeah, guys. So again, guys, I think we just need to filter out, let's say, some information from that entire information. So I hope that by this time you understood that what formula, what function can we use to filter out, let's say, some, let's say, the relevant information from the whole set of the information. Yeah, guys. Okay, so again, guys, for that, we need to again use a function called calculate because again, we want to filter out some information. Now, I want to just I need to use a loan amount and I want to understand the loan amount. I want to check the loan amount for only the charge of customer. Okay, so for that, guys, I can write it over here as total, let's say the charged off amount. Yeah, the total, let's say the charge of amount over here, I can try to take it and I can simply write it as let's say the charged of amount. Oh, sorry. I think uh, yeah, this is quite bigger. Okay, fine. Total charge of amount. This I can write into the title itself. Now this can be written as, let's say, calculate. Now I can pass, guys, the sum of the total loan amount. Okay, so the sum of the total loan amount, because again, guys, I have not created any new column for it. And
Interest, I think interest should also be
what?
loan amount plus interest, sum of interest will also be the part of it to calculate.
Because that is given as an interest rate.
Correct.
PDD. Okay, so that is not given as the interest amount. Okay, so over here, I think since we have taken a sum of it, this should be close. And then we can check for the loan status over here. Now I want to filter out only the loan amount of only those customers who have done the charge off. So just equal to charged off. Now that's all. I can just close it. Okay, so guys, again, this is what I'm simply asking you that. Okay, I told you that every time when you want to filter out some data, you have to use a function called calculate. Now into the calculate, guys, what we have done, we just take the sum of the total loan amount, and from that total sum of the loan amount, let's say which is 436 million something. Now out of that 436 million, we want to see that how much like amount has been given to the customers who have done the charged off. Okay, now if I just enter it, so we get a new KPI, guys, over here, which through which we can the organization can understand their loss. Okay, so now if I just try to take the new KPI. Okay, so I think I don't need to like take the new one. I can simply try to copy and create a new one over here. Now over here, guys, inside this uh, instead of default rate, I can simply pass that charge of amount. Okay. Now this is, guys, the total charge of amount. Means in like in short, we can also call it as a total let's say the loss for the organization. Okay, so total, I can say the charged of amount. Okay, so this is again, guys, one a very important figure or a very important number to to understand for my client. Okay, now, guys, going forward in the same series, we can again try to add the another KPI over here. Now that KPI, guys, can be nothing but as a total. Let's say I can even talk about, guys, in terms of rate. So that is what, guys, we can try to calculate over here. That is the recovery rate. Okay, means how much like money the organization has like recovered. Definitely, because we have like more number of good customers. So how much money or what percentage of that total money the company or the organization has recovered so far. Okay, so we need to calculate the next thing over here. That is the recovery rate. Okay, now, guys, this is one calculation which I want you guys to perform, because again, guys, it's again a simple calculation. Again, you need to use a divide function only. You just need to think of those two columns which you need to pass through the divide function. Okay, do it, guys. Try it by yourself. Just try to calculate the recovery rate. Okay, so recovery rate means the total amount or in terms of percentage which the company or the organization has recovered so far. Okay, do it guys, try it out. Yeah, guys, is it done? Is anyone who has calculated that recovery rate? Again, guys, it's again very it's a simple task we have. So for that, what we need to do is again I can go into the new measure and I can try to create a recovery rate. Now, guys, for recovery rate, as I already give you the hint that we can use a divide function. So recovery rate, guys, will be nothing but the total amount which you have received so far divide by the total like a funded amount. Okay, means the total like amount of a loan which the organization has disbursed so far. Okay, so if I want to calculate it, it will be recovery underscore rate. Now this is we are going to use a divide function over here. Now we have to pass that total amount received. Okay, so we definitely have this column. I guess we have calculated this, which is total amount. I think Okay, we have not created this column. I think we have to actually take a sum of it. So the sum of, let's say, the uh, total amount, I guess. Yeah, total payment. Okay. Close the bracket. Now this needs to be divided by, okay. This needs to be divided by total funded amount. Okay, so again we have to take a sum over here and we have to take the sum of total loan amount. Now close the bracket and I think we again need to close the bracket and that's all. Now this gives you the recovery rate. Now check that what is the recovery rate in terms of percentage. I can simply try to copy and paste it. Put it over here. Now, instead of default rate, I want to put the recovery rate over here. So definitely, yeah, this is the recovery rate. I can simply try to convert it into the percentage and change it to okay, and we can simply change it to let's say one decimal place. Okay, so this is the recovery rate we have 108.6%. We can even try to change the title over here instead of default rate. Now this is the recovery rate we have. Okay. So fine guys, this is what we have calculated inside a recovery rate. Now in a similar way guys, we can also try to calculate the let's say something called as again guys, so one important thing we can probably try to measure over here, that is let's say the loan utilization score. So that is one again a very important calculation we can try to do over here, that is a loan utilization score. Now guys, the loan utilization score, we again need to take guys the total loan amount, and that needs to be divided by the total annual income. Okay, so that gives you the loan utilization score over here. Now again guys, for that we create a new measure, and inside that new measure we can try to again use the divide function and can calculate the loan utilization score. Okay, so let me just take it, loan utilization, let's say the score. Now for this, we can again use a divide over here. And first we'll take the sum of total loan amount. Okay, so this is what we have over here, the loan amount. And this will be divided, guys, from the sum of, let's say, the annual income. Okay, so I think this is what we have on the top itself. Again, 0 and close the bracket. Now this will give you guys the loan utilization score. Okay, now again guys, in order to get it into the bracket, we can try to just create a copy of it, and over here I can try to show the loan utilization score. Okay, so I think somewhere we have this loan utilization score. Just drag and drop it over here. I can click on this loan utilization score, may convert into the percentage, and drill down the decimal value till 1. So 16.2% is that loan utilization score we have over here. Okay, so I can go into the title and I can change it to the loan utilization score over here. Okay, so now guys, I think we have actually calculated most of the KPIs over here, and I already told you guys that this is one data set, or this is one like a problem statement. We are definitely guys, just by using one or two data sets, we are not able to do anything. Okay, so we simply require like more KPIs over here. Now, this is a very first hand information, guys, which we can try to share with our client. Now, going forward, guys, this whole page, guys, this complete page, I can completely try to dedicate this complete page to only to the KPIs, or I can say only to the relevant KPIs over here. Now, for that, guys, I think we can add two more at the bottom. Because guys, this space I actually leave this space for let's say adding some like a chart, just one chart for this particular like a report page. So that will try to utilize like at the end. But right now, guys, there are two more like a gaps which is left, and in that like a two space, guys, we can try to add two more KPIs. So let's say, guys, we have created two columns over here today itself at the start of the session, and that is one is like a DTI band we have created, and another one is let's say like a loan amount band we have created. So this DTI band, guys, actually helps me to understand that high risk, or I can say the low risk, or let's say the medium risk kind of a feature. So now, guys, based on that same information, what we can do, we can try to calculate that the total number of high risk like a loan we have given. Okay, so let's say we can try to calculate something called as a high risk loan count. Okay, so for that, guys, we can I think we already have one like a criteria to understand that okay, this is a like a high risk like loan you have given, and that is nothing but wherever the DTI is, let's say, greater than 0.2. So we say that it's a it's a highly risky like loan we are trying to like approve. Similarly, guys, if the interest rate is greater than 15%, then again, guys, it will be a bit risky. Okay, because 15% interest rate is actually a bit higher, and it put maybe a lot of burden onto the onto the, let's say, the customer, and that might be one like a very important reason they are not able to, let's say, repay the amount. Okay, so what we can do, we can try to actually check the total high risk. We can take the count of like total high risk like a loan. And similarly, guys, we can even try to calculate the high income defaulters. Okay, means I can try to take the count of the defaulters. So even after having a very good income, means I think for that, guys, we have taken that calculation. You can see, guys, that so there's an income band we have created. So we have this category as a high income. So you can try to check, guys, that how many such customers we have. Even after having a very high income, they actually done the default. Okay, so means even after having, let's say, more than 80,000, they actually done the default. Okay, so I think we can even try to take that numbers also over here. Okay. So yeah, guys, now these are the last two like things, or last two KPIs which we can try to add it into our like a first report page. Now for the first one, guys, which is the high risk loan count, let's see that how we can calculate it. So again, guys, in both the cases, we require a similar kind of a function that is calculated, because we want to filter out some data from the entire set of data set. So I will write high risk, let's say, the loan count. Now over here, guys, I can try to use the function called calculate. Now, guys, I can first try to take the count of total values into my data set, and for that I can take the count of loan ID. Now this will give you the count of the total like a total number of rows into my data. Now out of the total like a number of rows, I want to see that how many such rows we have where the DTI is actually greater than, okay, where the DTI is, let's say, greater than 0.2. Now this is a one like a risk factor we have. And similarly, where let's say the interest rate, so we have the column like interest rate over here, and where the interest rate is actually greater than 0.15. So 0.15 means greater than 15%. Now I can close the bracket, and these are the two conditions I have tried to add it over here. So we just try to take the count, guys. So we try to filter out that data where the DTI is greater than 0.2, and the interest rate is, let's say, greater than 0.15. Now, if I press enter, we definitely get one column over here as high risk, like a loan count. And similar kind of a column, guys, we have to create for to get the total number of high income defaulters. Okay. Now for that, guys, let me first try to take the copy of this. I can just copy it, paste it over here. Now over here, guys, I can just first try to take the what is that? High risk. Okay, so high risk loan count. Now this number comes out to be, guys, 2000. It means that there are total 2000 like customers we have for whom the DTI value is greater than 0.2, and let's say the interest rate is greater than 15%. Okay, so I can simply write it as high risk loan count. Now, guys, I think this is bit complex, but I think the second one, guys, which I want to create, it's very easy because you already created that. Let's say the like a category or the column where we have created the band for let's say the low income, mid income, and high income. So what I want, guys, let's try to create this. Guys, again, just give it a try. Okay, so until and unless, guys, you're not giving a try in a real time, it is a bit difficult for you guys to actually get or get some gain some confidence. Okay, so now try to create this, guys, by yourself. Just try to create the high income defaulters. Okay, now again I give you that scenario that high income defaulters means that I want to say that I want to filter out the number of those like customers uh, like even after having the high income, even after belonging to the high income category, they have actually done the default. Okay, so you just need to filter out the data of those customers. Okay, so again, guys, use the same function calculate, but you have to filter out the number of those customers who are actually having the very high income, who belonging to the high income category, still they make a default. Okay, do it, guys. Try it out, everyone. Yeah, guys, how many of you have done it? Yes, anyone who has like created this formula? Yeah, guys, anyone who has created that like KPI? Okay, let me show you guys that how can okay, let me show you guys that how we can do that. Again, it's a bit disheartening for me, but okay. Again, guys, we'll use the same formula, the same function over here. I can simply try to use that like calculate, and this time I just need to filter out the customers who belong to let's say that high income category, or even I can try to just take that annual income greater than 80,000, the same situation or the same condition which we have given over there. Okay. So now for that, guys, I can write high, let's say the income, and then let's say the defaulters. Now over here, I can simply try to use the function called calculate. Now inside this function, guys, I can actually first take the count of the entire rows, which is nothing but the count of loan ID. I can close a bracket over here. Now after this, guys, I want to filter out, I want to just apply the filter on two things. So the first is I can apply the filter on, let's say, the income band. Okay, so there's a column called income band which we have created. Now over here, guys, we have to check that there's a category called high, I think. Let me just cross check this. This is what we have created: high, medium, low, or high, mid, low. I just need to cross check, because again, guys, if you let's say if you return high income over there, or if you return like high only over there, and if you're writing high income over here, so you'll get the error. So not the error, but you'll not get the output properly. So I think it is high income. Yeah. So I just want to see that if that customer belong to the high income category, I can write it as high income, and still they are making the default. So give a comma and add another filter. So for that, guys, there's a column called loan status we have, and the loan status is actually the charge off. Okay, so I think L, where is that? Yeah. So the loan status is equals to, let's say, the charged off. Now close the bracket, and that's all we have. Okay. Now if I run it, guys, so we'll get the total number of like customers, okay, who are actually having a very high income, but still they defaulted. Okay, so again, this is a bit uh definitely, guys, it's a bit difficult situation, guys, to actually digest, but yeah, this is what we have. So let's see that how many such customers we have. So if I just talk about the high income defaulter, so that is 1000 in number. So it's fine, guys, that 1000 is not a very high number over here. So I can simply write it as high income defaulters. Okay, or maybe guys, even this is 20% of that total defaulters. Okay. So that is what we have over here. Okay, so we got, guys, all the important KPIs over here. Now, definitely, guys, there are two things which you can do. Maybe if you think that like one or two like KPIs are not really necessary, we just try to adding extra information. So you can definitely try to remove it. But yeah, definitely, guys, at least this particular like a report or this particular data set at least require like a 6 or 7 KPIs for sure, for the client to understand definitely to understand the basic scenario or the basic picture of their data set, okay, or about their customers. Now, guys, in this page, still we have a lot of space left, and let's say as I give you the option that we can try to probably remove let's say 1 or 2 KPIs, which I think that may not be really necessary. So we have like a space, so where I can try to accommodate let's say 1 or 2 like a charts. Now, this is again, guys, the first report page. I have already told you that even, guys, when we are solving our like the first case study, that is fraud transaction, identifying the fraud transaction. So over there also, guys, the first report page, guys, or the first page over here is always dedicated to the executive summary of your data set. Okay, now over here also, guys, the first page will be the executive summary of your data set. So what I can do over here, I can simply try to create let's say one donut chart, and into that donut chart, guys, I can try to just take let's say 2 things. One is let's say the defaulters, and let's say the non-defaulters, or maybe the good or bad loan over here. Now let's see, guys, that what we can try to add it. So into the legend field, guys, over here, we can try to put the loan status. Now the loan status actually containing 3 different categories. Okay, so you got the charge off, current, and fully paid. And you can see, guys, that in terms of percentage, that what is that number? Okay, so right now, guys, we are getting the sum of ID over here. But definitely, guys, we don't need the sum of ID. We actually want to take a count over here. Now this is fine. So whatever the guys information we have calculated into the good loan, bad loan, that information, guys, is what we are getting it over here. Similarly, guys, it's simply, guys, in terms of proportion, it shows you that the total number of good and bad loan. Now what I can do, I can first try to format it, and then try to understand it in a better way. So I can go into the title, and I can simply try to change it to the let's say I can rename, guys, this as loan status distribution. Okay, so that's a better title, guys, for this. And I can increase the size, make it a bit bold, bring it in the middle. And, guys, again, the color should be similar to whatever the color I have taken earlier. The second thing, guys, is the visual. I can go into the detail labels. I can take it as all detail labels, and then I can switch off the legend. One more thing, guys, is that values can be bit like a bold, so that it should be clearly visible. And the other thing, guys, I don't have any other option over here, I guess. The other things are perfectly fine. I guess we have, let's say, for fully paid, I can try to change it to the green color or something. Okay, so this kind of formatting, guys, we can do just to make it much like better. Similarly, guys, the charged off, I can try to show them with a, let's say, a red color. That makes more sense. Okay, so Yeah, I think red color, this is a red color we have. So we can, and the one we can try to leave it as it is with that blue color. Okay. Now I think that's all we have. I can if I just go on to that full mode, I can see that the percentage of fully paid customer means the percentage of good loan. Again, what we have already discussed and which we have already created. Okay, so that is 83.3%. So since guys, in order to create that percentage, we have taken good and current both in one. So that's why the total percentage over there coming out to be 86.1, I guess, or 86.2. But yeah, guys, in a single state, if I try to understand it, so it is 83.3% fully paid customers we have, 13.8% percent charge of customers we have, and 2.8% current customers, guys, we have into this data set. Okay, so we get guys the loan status distribution over here. Now the second thing, guys, again, still we have like a bit of space into our like a report. So what we can actually try to do over here, we can try to just create we have already created, guys, that total funded amount and let's say the received amount. So that we can even try to show with the help of some chart, and for that we can use that clustered column chart over here. So we have this clustered column chart, guys. Let me just select that clustered column chart. Now, again, guys, this like a space over here is actually enough because we have divider like a space over here. Now over here, guys, what we can do, we can try to let's say from the issue rate, we can try to take let's say the year and month onto the x-axis. So we can remove the quarter and remove the days. And then we can try to put guys on the y-axis or onto the values. If I talk about it, I can try to take, guys, the total funded amount. So where is that total payment means? We can take a sum of it. And I think, guys, we have data for let's say just 1 year. Let me check one, let's say total funded amount, and we have total amount received. I think, okay, that is incorrect. Okay, so I think total funded amount is that total loan amount, I guess. Yeah, so we have data for 2021 only, I guess. Uh, yeah, so this will not make any sense because if we have a data for multiple years, then it makes some sense over here. So I guess, guys, that we don't have any other thing over here to check. So I can maybe take something else. Let's say instead of this uh, column chart, we can take it as a bar, and let's try to drag some categorical column, let's say the grade. And then, guys, we can take another column which we have created just now. That's, let's say, the default rate. Okay. This is what, guys, we can do for any other categorical column. I think we have other categorical column like purpose and all. But there are 14 unique purpose, so that is too much. So I think grade, there are 7 unique grades we have. Or we can also, guys, take the home status. Okay, so I think there's one column called I think where there are homeowners. Okay, so that is also we can take. Let me first try this out. Where is that default rate we have created? Let me take it onto the x-axis. Yeah, I guess, guys, it is clearly visible over here. So now, guys, we can actually check that. Again, let me first try to on these data labels so that it is clearly visible. I can just try to increase the size of the values. So this will be, let's say, 10, make it a bit bold so that it is clearly visible. The title, I can try to bring it, or just do one thing, just use a format painter so that mhm. Just use a format printer, apply it over here. Okay. Okay, now this is great. So default rate by grade, this is what we have over here. Now guys, over here, I think we can again just try to go ahead on the data labels. Now, if I try to talk about guys, so this again gives you a very good information that where the default rate is actually high. Okay, so for which grade you can see guys, this is what guys we have discussed that let's say if I talk about the grade A customer, so it means that the grade A customer guys is actually the customers or the employees who are actually on a very high rank or getting a definitely a good payment. Okay, so let's say even if I talk about the firm or the organization guys, so the grade A employee in my like a firm or in my organization, they are definitely getting like a very handsome like a salary. They are getting a very like a good like a salary if I talk about it. So definitely guys, in that case the chances of default is like very less. Okay, and since guys you can see that along with like a lower grade. Okay, so if you can see guys that from A to G, okay, so as the grade decreases, so the chances of default is actually increases. Okay, so this makes a very clear like a relationship guys over here that and definitely guys, default rate is actually very much dependent, or there's a huge impact of the grade onto the default rate. Okay, so if your grade is lower, which simply indicates that your salary is quite low, your salary is maybe less in comparison to the others who are actually having maybe who are actually working on a very good like grade, who are actually on a working at a very high grade. So definitely their salary is like high in comparison to you. And you can see guys that even the default rate are actually very the difference of these default rate are actually very high. Okay, so you can see that if I compare the grade A customer and the grade G customer, so the default rate for the grade G customer is actually 6 times more than the grade A customer. Okay, similarly guys, you can see that it is actually increases along with the grade along with like as you going downside into the grade. So for grade B customer, that default rate is actually becomes 11.5%. Then again for grade C customer it becomes 16%. For grade D customer it becomes 20.7%. For grade E customer it becomes 25%. And similarly guys, so it actually goes in a opposite direction as your as your grade is actually decreases. Okay, so you're getting a very important, a very intuitive information over here guys, that what is the role, what is the let's say the role of like a grade on to your target variable, or you can say into the loan status. Okay, so if the grade is actually lower, then the chances of the default, or the chances of let's say the charged off is bit higher. Whereas if the grade is actually if the grade is actually greater, let's say if you're belonging to A grade or B grade, so in that case guys, the chances are the chances are less that you will make a default. Okay, now definitely guys, this is actually a very important information for the client. So based on this information, client can definitely makes like a decision that whom to like whom they can provide a loan, or let's say whom they should not provide like loan, or they can do a multiple cross verification before providing the loan. Okay, so I hope guys that definitely this page is just the summary of your entire like a problem statement, but still this page holds very important informations. Okay, is it clear guys to everyone? Yeah, guys, is it clear to everyone? All these like KPIs which we have created today, and like I think is it any doubt guys with any of the KPI or any of the calculation or any of the chart which we have created so far? Now I can see guys that definitely as the problem statement let's say changes, or if the problem statement become a bit more complex, that similar way guys we have to let's say put more effort and probably need to get more and more information, probably need to get more and more calculation, for that to get the entire like a summary or to get the entire report. Okay, so definitely guys, to complete this before the guys, definitely before presenting ourselves in front of the client, we definitely need to add more and more information to this report. And for that guys, definitely there is maybe three or at least four like pages guys we need to create it over here to actually get the entire report, end-to-end report of this particular problem statement. Okay, is that clear guys? Any doubt or any question to anyone? Yeah. Okay guys, so fine, I think that's fine. I think if you're able to understand till here now guys, definitely I again shared this whole report with you into the drive, into the folder. Make sure guys that try to go through it, try to spare some time guys, at least if you can just take out maybe 30 or 40 minutes and try to create like at least guys one or two like pages or at least one page. Just try to figure out that what can be what else can be added into this report and can be which can be shared with the client. Okay, so yeah guys, just try to just try something from your end, and that makes definitely guys more impact, and that definitely gives you more like a confidence as well. Okay, so fine guys, that's all for today. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the session. Thanks a lot. Good night.